Going to call the study session to order. Roll call, please.
The record will reflect that all members of council are present.
Does any member of the council have a clarification for an item on the consent calendar?
I do.
Gardner.
Number 11, which is the Dover Drive Trunk Sewer Relief Project. I noticed that PCH to Cliff from September to November of this year, we're working nights from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and then days from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. which there aren't a whole lot of houses right there, but there are some that I would assume are going to be impacted by this noise. What are we doing to alert them and to help them?
Yes, thank you. We are doing some night work, particularly right off Coast Highway, about 400 feet up, because we have to tunnel basically under Coast Highway. We thought it'd be best at night when the traffic's low. We will be working with OCSD to make sure we notify the residents right above there, and then we'll switch over to day work as we go further up Dover.
Thank you. Mr. Petros.
No
Mr. Hill.
I would just like to make a comment on item number 14. Councilman Selage and Gardner and I had the opportunity of interviewing 30-plus candidates for various commissions over the past couple of weeks, along with all of the other applications that we have involved. And while I've only been on the council for 3 years, I have never seen such a high-quality pool of individuals from which to have excitement for our boards and commissions, and it's going to be an extremely tough decision that we have to make when we vote, but it's one of those decisions, opportunities that, with respect to quality output from the results, we can't lose. So, very pleased.
Thank you. Councilmember Daigle.
I have none.
Councilmember Hinton.
Yes, I have two. For item number 4, which is the Corona Del Mar bid approval, I was just a little confused because it said in the some of the lead-in material that there was going to be spent $10,000 for website redo and that Newport Beach & Co. was going to do the work. And then I look in the detail of what's being proposed by the bid, and I don't see a line item for $10,000 to do website work in the detail of the bid. Are they going to do that, and is that a use of the $10,000 that council supplementally approved over the $40,000?
I'm sorry, Mr. Henry. You're asking, is it in the budget, or?
I guess what I'm really asking is, are they going to do this website redo for $10,000, and is that a use of the $10,000 supplemental that we set up if they do marketing through
I'm not sure if Tara
Newport Beach
may
and
know.
Co.?
And if I'm understanding the question correctly, it was why would it not appear in the bid budget?
Yeah,
and that is
there was a $2,000 item in the bid budget for website, but not a $10,000 item.
because we would be paying the $10,000 directly to Visit Newport Beach.
Okay.
And for that, they would take care of the bid's website and some branding work for them.
So they are, in fact, going to use Newport Beach & Co. for marketing support?
Are we talking Corona Del Mar?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fine, thank you. And then item number 17, with regard to the budget situation, we did get a notice that there was some supplemental changes for money that had come in for various reasons, $4 million of which had to do with some extra money on the Santa Ana Heights RDA. Is the budget, will that extra money be reflected as we true up 6/30/13? Or is this a further adjustment to the budget when you get things finalized for 2014?
Currently is not reflected in anything we've considered with the budget.
Yeah, I thought that was the case, so good, we know that. So will it be reflected as we true up this fiscal year end?
Correct.
Okay.
We've received the money, and then it'll be up to the city manager whether he places an assignment or asks council for any other commitments towards that money.
So that would be some further discussion then that's not intended to be included in today's discussion.
Correct. And
Okay.
if no discussion were to take place, it would then roll to unassigned fund balance.
Okay, for 6/30/13.
Correct.
Okay, great. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Selick.
No items.
And I have no items. The next item is item 2, the July 4th update. I would remind everyone that last year, the city won the Association of Cities Golden Hub of Innovation Award for the 4th of July on the Peninsula program as part of their public safety program. We're very proud of what we did last year and hope to make more progress this year. Mr. Kiff will be making this presentation.
This will be led by, it looks like Dave McGill's getting up, so at the police department, although I see the chief over there.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Curry and esteemed council persons. I'm really happy to be here, too. I share your excitement, sir. Last year was a great success. We're coming on the heels of probably 3 or 4 successes in a row. We want to continue that trend. We got to get my slides going here. But as we do that, what I plan to do here, it's just a short presentation. I've got a few slides from probably about a 10,000-foot elevation, looking at our plan the way it is right now as we speak. That is going to be subject to change, but overall I think we're headed in the right direction. And at the end of my presentation, I have Recreation and Senior Services, Raquel Valdez here as well, going to say a couple things about the parade. Those that, for the audience, my name is David McGill. I am the Deputy Chief of Newport Beach Police Department. I am the Division Commander for Patrol and Traffic. I'm also the Incident Commander for this coming 4th of July parade. I love technology. And for my next joke.
Do you know any tap dancing?
Yeah, I'm trying. I see some of my esteemed colleagues here from our leadership course, and hopefully I've learned something in that. I can do a pretty good job on this demonstration, this presentation here.
We're going to move the presentation to another terminal here.
I'll fill the silence for a moment. You know, I'm anxious to see this presentation, and I know I'll be pleased with it. I feel like I've had some authorship in this, along with some very important staff members, to really try and change the culture here in West Newport on the 4th of July, and I think we've made a lot of progress. I'm very, very thankful for the leadership shown by the police department and by Laura Detweiler and the Parks and Recreation Department. They've all really collaborated so well with the community, and I'm especially thankful for the community's input and continuing participation in these parades that seem to be getting bigger and better every year. I did participate in the dunk tank last year with our city manager and some others, and who else is doing it this year? That's right, Councilmember Gardner. I'd forgotten that. And she doesn't make a very big splash when she hits the water, but other than that, so we'll see who else is going to do it this year, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to continuing our progress here. Somebody should have gone like this, and I could have spoken longer.
It's going like that.
How are the horses looking for the event? I know we got, officers from Anaheim and a couple other places?
Right. We're going to have twice as many horses this year as we did last year, yes. We're really excited about that. In fact, just before I got here today, I got an email from my boss, and we're all good into the Orange County Mounted Enforcement Unit protocol. It was signed, or at least the chief signed it today, and that's got to get processed. But that brings us not only the horses, but it brings us no cost, which is critical. So we are real excited about that program. As you may know, a couple weeks ago, June 1st, I'm sorry I missed you, Councilmember Daigle. I had to leave, but we did have a little show, 4 or 5 horses for that weekend, and one of our officers, Sean Dugan, was on one of the mounts, and little show went out and did some good work. Actually, they made an arrest and they wrote a few citations. It was mainly to introduce the horses to the community and get some publicity about it and let them know what's coming. We're really excited about that. Last year we had 10 horses. This year for 4th of July we'll have 20. and I'll tell you in a little bit where we're going to strategically put those horses, because they're absolutely phenomenal. They're a great tool for me as the incident commander, but part of that, there's no lie that there's a great public relations benefit for us, and I'm just really excited about it, and I know the chief is too, so we look forward to that. Okay, for real, I swear this was done before I got here. Somebody's gonna fall.
Well, the good news is pretty soon your time will be up, so.
I see the clock ticking. I'm like, cool, I only got a minute and a half left. I have two.
Down.
Well, I'll take a little time while there's a break. I want to thank Cindy and Lori. They're here in the back. They're on our committee, and so I wanted to take this opportunity to embarrass them a little bit. They've been great to work with on the committee, and they're a great partner and do lots of work. They go out and get coffee donated and donuts donated and all sorts of things. So I just wanted to thank them at the front. Thank you.
Almost ready.
Notes.
And we're all looking at your notes.
Glad I didn't say anything inappropriate on there. Sometimes I like to have little funnies. No funnies. Is this going to work, or am I going to have to point?
May not work today.
It resumes slideshow.
You're going to love this, though, really. When we get to the end, this is going to be the best show ever.
So do we have extra people assigned to cleaning up the road apples too?
Yes, sir. Glad you brought that up. We have the best volunteers ever for the police department, and yes, we have a cadre already assigned to that duty. Willingly, too. Didn't have to pay them. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. Keep going. There we go. All right. All right, we'll begin. I apologize for that, even though it wasn't my fault. Okay. Yes, coming off a couple of years of successes. This is another year. We're looking forward to patrolling Newport Beach. We're looking for another great year of 4th of July festivities. Let's see if this thing works. All right. The goal on all of our planning is the shared vision that we have with the city and our other department colleagues, a family-friendly holiday for all of Newport Beach. Like any event, this is a long-term planning. It lasts all year. We start ramping it up about this time with some things that you're going to see here real soon. Just touch on a couple things, some recent history. As you guys know, of course, Loud and Unruly Gathering Ordinance, the LUGO, is very successful. We only wrote 4 last year, 2 being July 3rd and 2 being the 4th of July. And I interpret that as a good thing. The communication went out when, of course, LUGO came into being, and after a few citations, it really got the message out. And I think the reflection of that is that only 4 are written. And it wasn't because we didn't want to write them. Believe me, we had the resources there, and we wanted to write those for those that are deserving. But we only wrote 4. So that is a success. That is a success in and of itself. The parade, again, a couple of years now, we've had that parade. I thought that was a great addition. We're having it again today. We'll be deployed for that in the morning. We will have a few horses there to help out with that. We'll have some volunteers to help clean where the horses do their duties. Some operational changes in the last couple of years. We went to the incident command system, which is more an internal mechanism of how the incident commander manages such a large-scale incident. As you know, last year, one of the big things that we touted, and we are very happy how it ended is the opening of Balboa Boulevard again. That created, it actually policed itself, so to speak. It forced the citizens to get up on sidewalks. The cars had access. We had planned to we had planned to close a few hundred blocks between like 36th Street and 46th Street. That didn't happen when we initiated our operation, and we were hopeful that it would turn out okay, and it actually did. Not having those barricades for those 100 blocks really worked, again, in our favor. Same with having Balboa Boulevard open. So another thing that last year brought us was the triangle lot there at Superior and Balboa and the highway. We used to have fences that went around there that created a lot of personnel issues for us. In other words, we had to stand there and guard homes for people jumping over the fences. We eliminated that last year. That was successful. We had a few footbeats that were designated in that area. So that was great as well. That saved us some money. It saved us some resources. And again, as I mentioned, we had the mounted unit coming last year. We had 10 horses last year. Thank you. 2012, some statistics just for your amusement and amazement. We wrote arrested 119 folks, over 500 citations, personal citations, and as I mentioned, only 4 Lugo sites. Outside resources to hire them to come in and help us police our city was about $120,000. Just so you know, for Lugo...
Chief, I believe that's down from about $200,000 of what we were spending just a few years ago.
And hopefully we're going to be less, the goal is to be less again this year. And questions also, if you have questions, please feel free to jump in here. You don't have to wait till the end of the program here. So I do have some Lugo stats for you if you're interested in that, but just real quickly, 27 locations since inception, that was in 2011, 27 locations have been cited, 61 total citations. 15, an important statistic, 15 landowners and homeowners have had their citations eliminated or dismissed. And that, for that reason, is because they corrected whatever violation. They threw out the folks that were causing them problems, or they corrected the violation. So I think that's important to know, that we will work with the homeowners. If they get rid of the problem, then we're happy with that. Of all the citations written, only 10 appeals, and of those 10, 9 have been upheld. So the Lugo is a powerful tool. We intend to use it this year as well. This year, we continue with our multi-year strategic plan. Community relations is a big part of that. We identify the party houses and trouble spots early. We're doing that right now. We have a list of them. We go out and visit them. We have a sergeant and a couple officers assigned as the Lugo force, so to speak. They've worked with the rental agencies ahead of time. All the contracts now have a little section in there that they don't want any problems with this Lugo, and that seems to help. We're going to be assertive like we always are and professional. I like to refer to it as aggressive and professional, but this is Newport Beach. We are not aggressive. We're a good police department. We're assertive, and that's what we're all about. We want to reduce our costs again this year, and we're going to have probably 15, 16 less outside law enforcement agencies helping us out, or personnel helping us out. And the goal this year, we will not have any street closures this year. That's pretty important. Seashore is the last remaining street to open, and we will open that this year. We will not have it closed. However, keep in mind, we will have the barricades available in case we need to. That's all part of the traffic plan. Our posture this year, we're going to change our footprint a little bit. We're going to change our operational dynamics. Before, we had a lot of footbeats and we had sedentary positions and an area of responsibility. This year, we're giving that responsibility of different areas to the lieutenants, and they're going to have a force with them of not only horses but bicycles and motors. A more fluid, a more mobile, more flexible response platform is how we're going to operate. We're going to have fewer outside personnel and a better camera system. We did have a camera system installed last year. They worked really well. We borrowed several from outside agencies. We've made our own, and we've had plans, and we're in the works of continuing to make those camera systems. They're great. They're a valuable tool for me as an incident commander. I have eyes on of the whole area. I can switch around and monitor where hotspots are, and I can have the lieutenants direct their resources to the appropriate area.
These are the high perspective cameras that are mounted on whatever it is.
Trees,
Get some-
poles,
yeah.
houses, wherever we have some electrical outlets. And they're hidden, but we tell people, hey, look, we have cameras out there. This is the 21st century. They are all over the place. And we use them. We use them strictly, for this period, we're going to use them for my operational assessment of the area. And they're a valuable tool. Things that are not changed right now, the safety enhancement zone is still the same. It's still 32nd Street and Newport Boulevard, the oceanfront, 54th Street to the north, and Coast Highway, or to the north, I should say, and 54th Street to the west. We are still going to have Prospect and Orange streets off of Coast Highway heading into Seashore closed. Superior Avenue lot is going to be closed as well, just like it was in previous years. And there are some left turn pockets. If you're heading on Balboa Boulevard westbound off the peninsula, those left turn pockets are going to be closed too. That facilitates traffic getting on and off the peninsula. The thing to remember, though, is the streets are open. There are ways, if the community happens to be there at a party early and they want to get out, they'll be able to get out, and we should have a free flow of vehicles and pedestrians. The barriers, as I said, are going to be there strategically placed in case we need them. Also, some things that are unchanged are alcohol-related offense posture. We're, like I said, we're going to be very assertive but professional. We're going to deal with those. One of the questions that came up often is urinating in public and the issues associated with that in the porta potties. Last year we had 2 areas where porta potties were set up. One was the Triangle Lot area, and the other one was the 38th Street Park area. We're going to do that again this year. I can tell you from our after-action report, I didn't have any complaints. There might have been a couple, but we were worried about urinating in public and the issues with that, not having the porta potties every couple of blocks. That didn't happen, and we're very happy about that, and hopefully that's a sign the community policed itself to that extent. So we're going to continue with that this year. Crowd management, of course, is the biggest concern, traffic management, and the dangerous conduct like fireworks and water balloons and whatnot. The command post will be, again, this year at the former City Hall site. We will have officers on the beach and ATVs, and we'll still have our sheriff partners from the jail operating our mobile booking station. Things that are a little bit different, again, is our posture here. Newport Beach always has maximum deployment for our officers and our civilian professionals. We're going to bring in 10 more horses, which is double the amount we had last year. Bicycle officers, we're going to bring in an additional 12. Those will be from Irvine Police Department. They've helped us in the past in a couple of incidents or operations, and they're going to bring in their 12. That'll be 18 bicycle officers. We're going to have 20 CHP motors. If you recall, if you walked around there, you saw some CHP vehicles with stationary CHP officers. Didn't work so well. Didn't do much. We're going to bring in more mobile CHP motors. They're very assertive, and they enforce traffic-related laws, particularly on Balboa Boulevard. Keep in mind, too, with the mounted patrol, those 20, they are not going to cost us a cent. We will not have to have any funds related to the mounted officers. Of the 20, I should say 19 are outside, and we have 1 that's going to be our own.
Chief, can you share with us why that is the case?
Sure. It's an Orange County regional. It's called Orange County Mounted Enforcement Unit Regional Team. They're from all over the county, from various agencies, and they will go where they are needed in different cities, and they'd be happy to go, and you pay for those services. If you join this regional unit, there's an memorandum of understanding. It's very straightforward. Like I said, the chief signed it yesterday. If you're part of this unit and you give an officer to them, the officer has to conduct some training with them, and they have to be available as much as possible to call-outs at different areas. Then you get those resources. So with one officer that primary job is patrol. He's actually a traffic officer. Every once in a while, twice a month, I think they go on training, and then when they have hotspots or pre-planned events, he looks at his schedule, and if we can give him away for that without impacting our deployment, we do that. And we try to play nice in the sign box. What that allows us is to get those whole resources when we need them, free of charge.
So those officers are being paid, but by their
Yes,
home jurisdiction?
by their own
for the time that
jurisdiction.
they- Yeah.
Yes, and just a little side note on how that organization works. The officers own their own horses. They own their own equipment, their own transportation. They board their horses, or they keep them in a facility at their own expense. These are folks generally that are horse-friendly, and they like that kind of atmosphere. So the only charge really to the department, the resources that we expend, are for a couple of minor items like tack gear, I should say. I'm not a horse person. Tack gear, and we provide on their saddlebags, Newport Beach proudly displayed, and some of their uniform equipment. The cost is very minimal, but what we get for that is absolutely phenomenal. So we're excited about that. Go back 1 second here, make sure I didn't miss anything. We should realize we're going to have a slight reduction in the outside number of resources. That should realize some cost savings to us. We're hoping to get about a 10% cost reduction, so that $120,000, we're going to be below $100,000. Hopefully. In addition, last year we had 4 start times for our employees, and they were on 10-hour watch. This time we are on 3 start times, close to 12-hour watches, and it fits more closely with our schedule. That will save us in the end with some overtime costs, and so that'll also be realized in the overall expense of this. We're going to save some money as well. Community outreach, as I said, is a big part of this. We've contacted business owners. We start that in earnest right about now. We have direct mailings, 10,000 mailings out to residences and businesses during this week, flyers to the residences and the businesses as well. Our Lugo team, as I mentioned, are going to hit some hot spots, introducing themselves, letting them know what's coming on. And we've already contacted the rental agencies, and we know when those folks that are here for July 4th, whenever they start their rentals, especially the ones that are in that area that have caused us the most attention, we will visit them, those folks, and just, whether they've been here or not, introduce ourselves and make sure they understand about Lugo and our expectations of how they're supposed to act during our family-friendly July 4th.
So where are the really hot party places then in this area?
Well, it used to be my house, but that's before I got here. So, I have my sergeant, Eric Peterson, who was hoping to be here too. I can get that for you, ma'am. I don't have the exact addresses, but we do have...
Well, I mean, like now with folks going to Huntington Beach, or...
I'm sorry?
Or people going to other communities. I mean, it used to be people would really come here to have a great 4th.
Well, I tell you what helped last year a little bit is when Huntington Beach changed their ordinances to allow fireworks. We certainly advertised that to a great extent, and I mean, I don't know if that helped or not, but I don't know where the hot spot is in Southern California, to be honest with you. I think we're still one of the hot spots, but I think people are getting the message. I've seen, having lived here for so long, I've seen how we've progressed, and particularly the last couple of years. I think we're going to get there. I just don't know how soon. I hope Palm Springs starts reinventing themselves or something. Get them someplace else. We also use, of course, not only for 4th of July, but in all of our efforts, the Nixle and the Twitter and the Facebook. We've reached out to some news media folks. The signs you'll see start going up as well. So we do advertise, and we get out in front of this with the community, and by now most folks know about our posture and know what to expect. We do have, I like to call them bookend events, the parade in the morning, which is great, and Raquel will talk about that in a minute. But we do have to plan for that as well. And at the end of this event, we have the Dunes has been really trying to enhance their efforts at being a family-friendly event. They have a great fireworks show. Last year, if you remember, we may not remember, but there was a small fire that was across the bay. It wasn't the result of any of the fireworks or anything, and that caused us some concern. It's not, what I'm saying is it's just not the planning of 4th of July in West Newport. We have a whole city to deal with from the very beginning of July 4th, and actually July 3rd we start really ramping up. And this year, July 4th being on a Thursday, we've got Friday and we've got Saturday. We're concerned about that. We've deployed, I think, sufficient resources for that, but it's not going to be the extent of July 4th. So we're cautiously optimistic we're going to be able to handle it, but next year is going to be even more fun being on Friday, and we'll see how the weather is going to be. So, as I mentioned, post July 4th, we got Friday and Saturday this year, and we'll continue our enforcement posture all the way, probably through the weekend. That's the extent of my presentation, and we can either handle a couple of questions if you want, or I can turn it over to Raquel, if that's your pleasure.
Any questions? All right, let's bring Raquel up. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Curry and council members. My name is Raquel Valdez. I'm acting recreation manager, and I'm going to discuss the fun event, the fun part of 4th of July. We are pleased to invite you and your family to attend 2 Independent Day celebrations. The first one being the 41st annual celebration at Mariners Park. The parade actually takes place at 10:30 a.m., followed by carnival games and rides and great food until 2 p.m. So that's a great event over at Mariners. And we are going to highlight the 4th of July for families in the slideshow just to follow the safety enhancement, and we're really proud, and we've been working hard with the committee. This is the 3rd annual Newport Peninsula Bike and Community Parade. And it's a great event. It's fun for everyone. Just a brief outline of the day. The parade starts at 9 a.m. and it starts at 38th Street Park. The parade will march to Channel Place Park for carnivals, games, dunk tank, and lots of fun, and that will be until 11:30. And also new this year, we are very proud of our new street banners that are currently hanging over along the safety enhancement streets, which is Balboa Boulevard from Coast Highway to 32nd Street. And this is part of the ongoing effort that to change the culture of the 4th of July, and we feel that these banners play an important role to remind the community of the great event that's coming. And by listing 4th of July is for families, we're really hoping that's going to help get the message clear as well. I also wanted just to say a special thanks to our committee. I know Sean had mentioned before, but there is other committee members that have made this event possible. But if you'd like to stand, Cindy Kohler is here back in the back, Jim Miller, Lori Morris, Mary Bryant, Richard Bergenston, and Joe Stapleton. And also special thanks to our sponsors listed in the PowerPoint slide. And July 4th promises to be a great day in Newport Beach, and we look forward to having you join in on the fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. Any questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Mayor Curry, I don't have necessarily a question. I will let you know that Mrs. Petros has already started talking about the 4th of July parade, and I am ever so hopeful that I get this brace off my leg so that I can also participate in it. There were some comments made, though, that I want to underscore. With any type of planning like this, there's the strategic and the tactical. And I really appreciate what the police department has brought up as the strategic end of addressing this particular event over this weekend. But the banners bring to mind a broader tactical approach that we should all be thinking about and really focus on as we embark on this new budget year and all of the capital projects that we're doing. We want to, and I heard over and over, change the culture down on the peninsula and in West Newport Beach. And those banners are a real good evidence of a changing environment. We want people to see things that will alter their frame of reference of the peninsula from a place that they can run rampant to a place that is a very nice family-oriented destination with our beaches. And I think that it's important to note that during this summer, we will also be undertaking a significant landscaping project down on the peninsula. That will help to change the culture. It will help to bring up the standards along the peninsula and make that a warmer, more inviting, family-oriented destination. When we start to look at the undergrounding and the 20A projects around there, once again, a city investment in its own to revitalize, bring back, and just enhance that area. All of these things are tactical efforts that the city is making to change not only the culture for the 4th of July, but the peninsula as the ultimate residence for, or place of residence for the citizens, but a destination that means come and have fun in a safe manner. So I think that what we're doing here for the 4th of July is wonderful, but I really look forward to taking on a lot of these other projects so that this is year-round.
Thank you, Mr. Petros. Seeing no other comments, let me open this up for public comment. Any member of the public wish to speak on this matter, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor Curry and members of the council. My name is Jim Moser. I applaud the success of this family-friendly effort, and I would suggest that as it continues to gain traction and momentum, at some point it would be appropriate to rethink the rationale for closing the public parking lots, because there may indeed be people who want to come to the beach. We are in Newport Beach on the 4th of July, and finding the lots closed doesn't seem family-friendly to me. And at some point, it may no longer be necessary or appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers, please come forward.
Hello, Mayor and Council members. My name is George Schroeder. I lived down in that area for 25 years. I spent every 4th of July in that area because I just want to be home and watch my property and my tenants and make sure everybody is safe and okay. I do want to applaud our local police department and our chief and Officer McGill. They've been doing a fantastic job. I think we kind of turned the corner back in 2004 when Todd Ridgway, council member Ridgway, got the special enhancement zone through, and that kind of is when we started to ratchet down. I do remember in the 1980s, before there were any barricades up on Seashore Avenue, it was just a sea of humanity of young people down there, and it was under-policed, and there was just no control. And but it seems to be going fine now. It's going the right direction. My tenants who have young families stay there. They do go to the parade and the picnic at the park, so that's a fantastic event. I am a little bit concerned that, but I do trust the police know what they're doing, but I'm a bit concerned as we ratchet the police officers down, open up Seashore, and, I think what's happened, there has been a culture change with the fines and the enforcement, and we just have to keep that in place. And because once we start to relax, there was an attitude in the 80s and 90s that this was the place to come. And I don't want to say anything against the previous policing, but it almost was like they were trying just to contain some behavior that wasn't family friendly. But again, so my hope is that it will work out good, and the next time we have the 4th of July on the weekend, I do have to respond to one thing. Do not open up the parking lots, because it's all about crowd control. If you open up those parking lots, if the sun's out, once you have so many people here, there's only so much the police can control, so the crowds would just be too much. So I support keeping the off-site parking lots closed for the time being, especially. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? All right, we'll bring it back then. I just want to commend our police department, the recreation department, for really putting together a great program. Councilmember Hinn, for your leadership in organizing this, and for the people in the community who have gotten together on their own and worked with us and formed this committee, and I think really have done a splendid job, and I congratulate everybody involved with this, and we look forward to a great family-friendly 4th of July in Newport Beach next month. So thank you all. The next item is public comments, including public comments about items on the closed session agenda. Is there any announcement to go with this before we open it up?
Public comments are invited on study session and regular meeting agenda items, closed session items, and non-agenda items generally considered to be within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Speakers must limit comments to 3 minutes. Before speaking, please state your name for the record.
Are there any public comments? All right, seeing none, we will adjourn, and we'll be back at 7 o'clock. Thank you all for being here.